Okay, so for this video, I'm going to be talking about the lumbar plexus and basically how the nerves travel in the body. Um, so I'll be drawing a few things out real quick. Alright, so we're just going to draw the pelvis. I like drawing a little triangle. So that's going to be your sacrum, a little rectangle, that's going to be your spinal column, and that kind of looks like a butterfly-ish, right? Alright, cool. Oh my god, that's terrible. Delete that. Okay. Oh, I don't even know what I'm drawing. Oh my god. It's like when you're drawing something, it just never comes out. There we go. That's fine. That's what I'm going with. Okay. So you have from T12 to L5, right? First thing that's going to come out is your subcostal. Your subcostal is going to run below that last rib, and then you just kind of come this way and wrap around. Actually, we're going to do that in a different color. We'll do orange. Wrap around and just do that thing. It kind of just innervates a little bit of the thigh. So we'll draw this out. That's going to be your inguinal ligament, and it innervates a little bit of the thigh, kind of like in this section, right? Cutaneously. Then below that, we're going to have your iliohypogastric. Your iliohypogastric is actually going to run out and come a little lateral to the hip, laterally and posteriorly, because it innervates laterally and posteriorly, and it innervates right laterally and posteriorly, and it innervates a little part of your hip just on the upper border, on the posterior side. Your ilioinguinal, do that one in blue, is going to run along and run with your inguinal ligament and just kind of run along here. And that's going to start innervating some of the cutaneous portions that you find right here. Your genital femoral, which comes off of L1, L2, right? It's going to run this way and kind of come in here, and that's where you're going to see some of that cutaneous innervation right here in that middle portion. After your genital femoral, you're going to have your lateral femoral cutaneous. And we know that one, which is L2, L3, comes off of that. That one has 2 as well, right? It's going to come here, and then it's going to go over the inguinal ligament and start innervating some of that lateral aspect of your thigh, right? And this is not proportional. I hope you know that. And then after your lateral femoral cutaneous, you're going to have your femoral and your obturator. We'll do your obturator first because the femoral has a few more things going on. But your obturator, which is L2, L3, L4, L3, L4, it's run this way, and it's going to have to go through your obturator foramen, right? And it's going to start innervating some of that medial aspect of your thigh. And let's get into the femoral nerve. I will say your lumbosacral trunk, just so I can get that out of the way. Your lumbosacral trunk stays kind of in this area, and it's basically a connecting point for a lot of different nerves. It helps connect the nerves between your lumbar and your sacral plexus. But it's just there as a connecting piece because when we draw these out, we kind of just pinpoint where they come from. So we draw a straight line from L1. We draw 2 or 3 lines coming out of L3 or L2. But really, they're leaving it at one point, and then they're splitting off and connecting all over the place. But your lumbosacral trunk is a big portion of that, and that's why they call it that. But let's do your femoral, okay? So your femoral is going to come on L2, L3, L4, right? It's going to travel down, and it's going to travel behind the inguinal ligament, and then it's going to come out and start doing this. Start going down, and we know that it passes the femoral triangle And draw that in dark green. Right? And your femoral triangle kind of looks like that. Okay? That femoral triangle is bordered by the inguinal ligament, the adductor longus, and your sartorius. Right? After your sartorius, I want to bring this up now. After your sartorius, you have your adductor canal, and your adductor canal is made of 4 different muscles, right? It's going to be your sartorius, vastus medialis, your adductor longus, and your adductor your adductor magnus, right? Okay. But I want to mention that adductor magnus right now because your femoral nerve is going to do 2 things, or a couple things. It's going to split here. It's not going to enter the adductor canal. It's going to split and start innervating those anterior muscles, right? And some of those branches, I'm going to do this in a different color. Some of those branches are going to innervate that anterior thigh. So you have the cutaneous branches of the femoral nerve innervating that anterior thigh, and then your deep muscles, which are kind of like here, are innervating the muscles that are found within your anterior thigh. So that would be your quads, that would be your iliacus, psoas major, pectineus, and sartorius. But that's going to do the anterior portion. So we'll come back here to this point, and I want to choose, we'll choose blue, okay, or light blue. So this split, this branch that comes through the adductor canal, and it's coming from the femoral nerve, remember? This is our saphenous nerve, right? And your saphenous nerve is going to travel. It's not going to do much in the thigh region, so that femoral region. But once we get into the lower leg, right? Once we get into that lower leg, it's going to start traveling more medially, okay? And then it's going to start, here we'll draw this real quick. We'll do this a different color. So this is your leg, right? Right. But this saphenous nerve is going to start innervating some of this medial aspect of your leg, right? And those are going to be it's going to innervate the cutaneous surface of medial leg, right? And that's what happens there. I think I got most everything here. And then if I draw this out, right, and we're going to start doing like we'll draw this out real quick. If we do the leg, right, ooh, my boy got some thick legs. And he got some thick thighs, dang, or thick calves. Let me do this. That's your big toe. Cool. All right. Do the second toe too. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just do all of them. All right. It's just terrible toes. Whatever. But let's break this down. Okay. So you have 3 sections here, right? Here, here, and then here. Okay. So this is going to be your genital femoral. And this is the cutaneous branches that I'm drawing, right? So we'll start with the orange. We'll start here. That's your subcostal cutaneous branches, right? And that's going to be your T12. This lateral one is going to be your lateral femoral cutaneous branch, right? This middle one is going to be your genital femoral cutaneous branch. Here, this is going to be your ilioinguinal cutaneous branches. This middle one is going to be your obturator cutaneous branches. Your anterior thigh is going to be your cutaneous branches of the femoral. And your obturator nerve is also going to be cutaneous branches. And your lateral femoral is just its own thing. It's a sensory one. But if you remember this medial aspect is going to be your saphenous. Okay. So all of this is your anterior thigh. You have your lateral. This top portion right here. This middle portion. This is kind of like the inguinal area, you know. That's that, and that's that, right? And a lot of these things kind of all come together. It's best to try to incorporate what you know with what you're learning, because growth is one of those topics that it builds on each other. Everything's interconnected. This is a human body. But everything's a little bit interconnected. And then kind of this lower leg area, we'll get into that, I think, in the next video, because I'll be talking about the sacral plexus. But this is the lumbar plexus.